You're listening to Never Heard of It, a Night Shift Radio production.
Earlier, you were talking about how well coordinated the New York State, or at least the Syracuse area, vaccination events are, and I've been hearing a lot about that. And I've been very impressed. As I was telling the team earlier, I'm eligible on a technicality, and because the state is such a shit show of people who have not been following the rules and people who probably won't get the vaccine anyway, and our governor actively trying to kill everyone who didn't vote for him.
Right.
I'm going to take full advantage when that comes around. But all of the vaccination events have been hours away by.
That's ridiculous.
By car.
You live in a major city.
I live in a major city. Like there's currently nowhere for me to get a vaccine where I don't have to like rent a car and drive across the state. At least the people of Kansas City were able to get one in this most recent round. They finally get it. But that said, next week, so the weekend after this trailer drops, and the weekend that our next episode drops, theoretically, if all goes as planned, there will actually be a mass event in downtown St. Louis that I might actually finally be able to go to.
That would be amazing.
I'm really hoping I can, because it's going in public is really hard right now.
Yeah,
like really, I've spent a year where like at most like I might go and like grab takeout. I went into like a shop a couple weekends ago. Like Ellen and I are trying to kind of reacclimate ourselves as carefully as possible so that like being around other humans isn't a majorly stressful event.
Right.
But I told you we got bikes yesterday, so a week ago as of when this airs, which is awesome. I'm so excited to have a bike again and to be able to go out and ride for pleasure and for transportation. It took a lot longer than we anticipated, being in that shop, and we just got like really, really super manic from the like stress of being in a shop and like interacting with humans in person for that long. Was a really weird experience where like I feel like by the time we left, the guys in the shop were like, what the fuck is wrong with those two?
That's weird. Are they like newly converted Amish? Like what is it?
But then like we forgot a bag of accessories and had to go back and get those, and then like we left again, and then they called and like they had forgotten to give us the keys for Ellen's lock, so we had to go back for that. So like I don't think anyone was really on their game that day, so I don't feel as bad. Plus, like our intent was like we're gonna go get lunch today. We're gonna go downtown. We're gonna grab some food. But then I was like, like we should check and see if the bike shop isn't too busy, and if it's not, like let's go in and look around. And then that turned into like we went before we ate, and like looking around turned into buying, and buying turned into like we did our test ride, and then like. I'm like, we're going to do this right. We're going to get all the accessories and like deck these out the way we want them. So we only have to do this once.
Right.
Which turned into like, I don't know, probably at least a 2-hour affair all told.
Wow.
By the end, we were also like brutally hungry. Right. And we're like, we're going to go get barbecue. We went to the barbecue place downtown, and there was a line halfway down the block. We're like, nope, not that.
Yeah. Oof.
So yeah, like going in public is stressful right now, and I want very much to get vaccinated so that I can reacclimate to being around humans to the point where like it's not a whole like day ending like emotionally draining thing to just go to like one store.
Right. Right. You go to like a Target and you come out and you're like, woof, that was, there's so many people.
I don't even want to think. Like I did have to go into Target once to pick up some supplies for the house when we bought it in December. And that was like, it was the same thing. Like I got like just like super manic and was just like all over the place. And like by the time we left there and like got back to the house, like I just had no energy left at all. Just completely emotionally exhausted. I don't want to live like this anymore.
Right. You want to get everything back to normal. Yeah. And that's the hope. So please, everyone, when it is your turn, go get vaccinated so that we can go back to normal. And I can wander around a Target and leave and be like, how the fuck did I just spend $150? Like, what the shit just happened?
I want to be able to go to restaurants and movie theaters. I want to get on a train.
I want to go to the movies again.
I want to get on a fucking cross-country train, go see my friends. And we talk a lot about Run Left of the Dial, like how much we want like live music to come back. My old neighborhood had one of my favorite venues in the city, and that closed kind of like early on in the pandemic, which I think there was probably a good chance they would have closed anyway, but that was like, final nail sort of thing. But a brand new venue just opened up like a mile down the road that we currently live on, over in Midtown, that looks like it's going to be really cool. So I'm hoping that someday I'll be able to go to there. My other favorite venue closed a long time ago. Like, music's having a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, there really isn't music here in Syracuse anymore. So that's, outside of like the same 3 country act or classic rock acts that, come through. I think like Lynyrd Skynyrd plays here like 3 times a year. Because like, that's just what people in Syracuse listen to. Or it's like Luke Bryant or some bullshit like that. So it's like, there's no music here. But yeah, emotionally exhausting is right. And speaking of emotionally exhaustive, hello and welcome to the Never Heard of It podcast trailer edition. I'm your host, Michael Fight.
And I understand that segment very well.
So we are here to talk about our upcoming episode on the movie I.O. Not 10. It's not 10. It is, in fact, I.O.
I'm embarrassed that, like, the first time I looked at this, I'm like, oh, yeah, a new movie called 10. And then later on, when I went to look for it, I searched for 10 and ended up finding that it was I.O. And I was like, God damn it, you know better, Caleb. You fucking know. Like, I don't know all the moons of Jupiter, but I know I.O.
I know Io because of Destiny. It was a location, it was a planet or a moon that you could go to and do Destiny things on. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I know Io.
Also, Moons of Jupiter was a Cave-In record.
Really?
That band fucking slayed.
And of course, there's Drops of Jupiter, which is by Train. That band did not slay, but they had a few bops.
The
soul sister. On the radio.
Now I understand how Kitsy feels whenever they try to quit the podcast.
It's true. Yeah, so I.O. is part of our, this is the last one in our series for this month, where we started off with a really great Kathryn Hahn film, Afternoon Delight, because WandaVision was just wrapping up. We had a midway moment of Sebastian Stan, and for Falcon and Winter Soldier, for the launch of Falcon and Winter Soldier, which just happened last week. And then today we are rounding it off with Anthony Mackie starring in a Netflix original, I.O. Co-starring in a Netflix original.
Yeah. I guess I have to issue a something of an apology. We talked about this in the episode when we talked about doing this upcoming, a couple weeks ago. I was like, yeah, Anthony Mackie, he stars as a scientist looking for the way to save the dying Earth, and that is not true. He is not technically the main star of this, and he's definitely not the scientist trying to save the Earth. But in my defense, the name of the character who is Sam, and of course we think of Sam Wilson, the Falcon. So it's not my fault, and I stand behind that.
Yes, absolutely. That's and I had actually seen this movie before. I watched it on Netflix when it debuted. There was this movie, and there was actually another movie which is very coincidental called Titan that I watched. And Titan was absolutely batshit crazy. That might be one we throw in for the alien invasion one, although it's kind of not really alien. I don't know.
You know what we should try to find is the Puppet Masters. Are you
like
familiar?
like like the Puppet Master, like when we did the crossover Puppet
No, no, no,
Masters.
no, no. The Puppet Masters based on the Robert Heinlein book, and starring Donald
Oh.
Sutherland. Um,
Oh.
it's a fantastic alien invasion movie. Well, I remember it being fantastic. It might not hold up at all.
Which is funny because he was in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That was
Yeah,
Donald Sutherland was in
yeah.
that.
Donald Sutherland, the excellent actor, and this was my introduction to him. And the aliens in that story are from Titan.
Oh, yeah. So, see, there you go. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, so we're talking about this movie. You can watch it streaming right now on Netflix. I think pretty much Netflix everywhere, but I'm not entirely sure. Since it is a Netflix film, I'm pretty sure it probably airs everywhere on Netflix and not just exclusively in the US or whatever.
One would hope.
Yeah, so definitely. So if you're the type of person that watches movies before you listen to our show, that is where you can watch it. It is exclusively available on Netflix. And for our Patreon subscribers, even at the lowest level, the $5 a month level, you can actually listen to our full episode on this film right now by going to patreon.com/nightshiftradio, where you can see all of our upcoming episodes, or I'm sorry, get early access to our episodes, some bonus episodes of Nahoit that are exclusive to Patreon. You can get early access to Second Edition 1, early access to the Storyteller series, and at the $10 tier, you can start seeing concept art for our upcoming animated show, Show 17 for Humans.
Which is very exciting.
Which is very exciting. We just got a whole bunch of animation tests not that long ago, so it's cooking. It's cooking. But yeah, so other than that, for those of you watching on YouTube, first off, thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That's very helpful. Yeah, hit the bell thing. I don't know. Will I animate the bell here? Will I remember to do it? I won't.
No,
I won't.
you won't. It's
Yeah.
fine.
And then, of course, for those of you guys listening on your podcast player of choice, don't forget to subscribe. And if you are on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and leave a rating and review. It's super duper helpful. It only takes a minute. You can even just hit 5 stars and be like, these guys are douches, or be like, 1 star, best podcast I've ever heard. Yes, I did that properly. And that's fine. Any of those are fine.
5 stars. Fuck you in particular.
Right. You specifically. And we would super appreciate that. I would love that. And if you wanted, take a screenshot and tweet it at us at the Nahoit Podcast, the NHOIT Podcast. Let us know that you did a rating review, and we will, of course, shout you out on the show on an upcoming episode.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. But yeah, so pretty exciting. So again, don't forget to subscribe on either YouTube or your podcast player of choice, so you get notified this Sunday when this episode drops and we talk about I.O. It's I really like the conversation we had about this film, and I'm very excited for you guys to think about it and tweet at us and let us know, or whatever, however you want to get a hold of us, to let us know like what you thought, like what are the pieces you put together versus what we put together. I want to hear it. This is one of those movies that you want to talk about for a while.
Yeah. Agreed.
Absolutely. So again, thanks a lot for joining us, everyone, and we will see you on Sunday.
Yeah, we will.